All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Channel 6 TV, Community Focus. Kenny Fogel, your host here. We got Shai Kumar here with us today. Pronouncing that right?
You're
So make sure
absolutely correct. It's Shai. It's short for Shyam, like Shai I am. Spells S-H-Y-A-M. And Kumar, like Harold and Kumar, the famous movie guys.
I never saw the movie, but I did see the previews. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you weren't born in this neck of the woods.
No, actually, I was born in a small holy city in India called Allahabad, and it's famous for River Ganges, which is like a holiest river. And every 12 years, there's a big, huge crowd comes to take a bath in that river, and that's the only place in India which has 3 rivers joining at one point. And according to our historic or ancient history, that Lord Shiva, which had something to do in that area, so it's very holy. It's like Rome so it's like that. So I was born in that small city. My dad was a diplomat, so we traveled from one city to another city to another city, and then so we started traveling international. But I was born there. Then we moved to New Delhi, the capital of India, and then after that, the family decided to just stay there, and we let my dad travel, and my mom was like, she don't want to travel anymore. So, but I traveled a lot of cities in India, then I traveled a lot of countries also, some with my dad, some after I learned how to be a traveler, then I did the whole adventure by myself. So I grew up in New Delhi. After my high school, I went to England and got a degree in business and finance and master's in math. And then went back to India. I wanted to spend time with my dad. And then I had a job offer in New York. So I spent 10 years in New York, and here I am in Boston.
Well, we'll get you a little bit into that, the part of where you are now, but I've never been to India, and I know it's one of the most, as far as I think, it's the most populous country in the world.
After China.
After China. So tell us a little bit about India. I mean, I know a lot of our viewers probably never been to India, or if they have, they just read about it in textbooks. What kind of country are you living in?
India is the biggest democracy. So it's even before USA, India is the #1 democracy. And yes, we are number 2nd in the population, but before, the population used to be like a setback or a drawback. Now with the IT part, I think Indians are getting smarter.
Yeah.
So now that's our strength now. And second thing, now every company in the world, or like food chains, they want to expand to India because we have such a large consumer market. So India, I think one of the ancient, like we have tracks of our history, culture, more than 10,000-15,000 years ago. And very famous thing about India, one of those Ajanta, the caves, like which was discovered few hundreds of years ago, and those caves are tracked back like more than 10,000 years old or something like that. So India is a very diverse country, very colorful, very culture. Majority of the people are Hindu. We don't eat meat or no alcohol and stuff like that. But there was a time India used to be like a backwards. We had a lot of orthodox rituals and customs, but now we're breaking all that, and new generation is far from the old system.
Well, India's got, like you said, a very rich history that I don't think a lot of people know about, because particularly it doesn't make some of the textbooks here. But it's been the crossroads for many. I mean, every country in some way or another tries to find their way into India, like you said, for a variety of reasons.
Yes. Like McDonald's came not long ago.
Now, how can they have a McDonald's in India and they don't eat beef?
We don't, in India, McDonald's, they don't sell beef or pork.
Really?
Yeah, they sell a lot of chicken. They have a lot of vegetarian burgers, which
Yeah.
I never saw here. But the most expensive franchise in India is KFC. Kentucky
Really?
Fried Chicken.
Really?
It's the most expensive, and it's you cannot even if you have the money, you cannot buy it because there's probably 1,000 people in the line before you. So yeah, a lot of, as I said, like whatever happened 500 years ago or even 50 years ago had rapidly changed. I think Indian just took over.
Well, the new generation, obviously, you mentioned it has changed quite a bit, but it's a very technical society, and I notice people. Is education geared that way, or why is it that the Indian people have become a very?
I'm going to tell you a very interesting fact about this. I'm going to talk about a little bit bad about our. We got our independence from British in 1947, 15th August 1947. Our founders, the father founders, did not mandatory education at that time. Like there was nothing in Constitution that everybody have to have education up till high school or something. So there was no. And then India was going through the poverty stage till 1970 something. Then the government changed, and then they started bringing the foreign companies, foreign culture, foreign investments. They opened the dollars market. Then that's when it diverted, and then by in 80s and 90s, a lot of changes, and then more people got into education. Their grandparents, which were not even 5th grade pass or something, they wanted their sons, their daughters to be educated, and then after that, fathers, then everybody wants their kids to be educated rather than just doing whatever the dad was doing or their grandfather. So that's when it diverted, and India, now education is like number one. Like you look at math beast, Indian kids are doing great.
Well, the climate. And I'll just go a little bit of is it rainy seasons? I know they don't have typhoons or hurricanes, cyclones, I believe, in that area.
I mean, cyclones is only like south part of India, but it's not effective as here. India has monsoon season, which is like kind of lots of rain, but not much of. We don't have any tornadoes or cyclones and stuff like that. Very rare on the southern part of India. We may get some small wind or some coastal. Otherwise, from Himalayas, from northern part of India, Himalayas, we're 12 months of snow, and then we have desert, which is Rajasthan, and then we have flatland, and then we have east coast. And then all the way south, where temperatures like Florida throughout the year. So India is very, very diverse in compared when it comes to the weather also. So I mean, we have everything.
Well, if you're going to travel to Louisville, say, or travel to New Delhi, what would be your biggest difference between those two cities?
It's going to Louisville and going to India, New Delhi. First of all, New Delhi is double the size of New York.
Yeah, and it's a huge city, but I don't.
It's a huge city.
Very much metropolitan, or
very metropolitan, 24/7, non-stop, a lot of activities and a lot of traffic. But at the same time, it has double the population of New York too. A lot of people, a lot of government. Like New Delhi is the capital city, so a lot of government. What we can plan in Louisville for 30 minutes traveling time, or we may take 2 hours in New Delhi because of that much.
Now, what is the language primarily in India?
In India, the official country language is Hindi, and mostly majority people are Hindu, but Hindi is our national language. And then every state has their own language, which is like 33 different kinds. If you go from Louisville to Tennessee, it's a different language. It's a different language, different food, different culture, different outfit. It's totally different. The people may, like, I don't understand the language of third state where I live. because they speak totally different.
Yeah.
They dress different, their food may be different, but being a 34 states, I get to eat 34 different kind of food, so I will never get bored of eating the same
No,
thing.
you won't get bored. Now, you ventured out of India and going into, you said, England to go to school. Now, did you know English at the time, or is this something you learned when you got to England?
No, I went to a Catholic school in India, and then English was mandatory.
Okay.
So that
Well,
was
see, that's something that's different from the United States. I know, like Japan and several countries, English is mandatory, a foreign language is mandatory, but it's not here.
Right. So what that advantage did to us, like we have, like I have 3 different languages, which is my first, second, third. At home we speak Punjabi. Because we are from northern India, so we have our regional language, and then everybody in the country speaks Hindi, and then English. Everybody in school speak English, and now if you go to India, I think you'll find people speak English more than they speak any other language.
Well, it simplifies things considerably. Now, was it a shock when you got that? You'd been traveling, obviously your dad was a diplomat, but was it a big shock when you get to London?
No, it was not, because I was used to travel, and I've been to England before, and then when I went to do my college study, it was like I'm just going from one home to another home, because I have my family, my mom's side, they live in.
Are they still there?
Yeah, and my real sister, she's in England too. So it was just moving from one house to another house. It was not.
Then New York City.
New York was good. It was really good. New York has the glamour, so it sucks you in initially. You want to go there, and you see all the bright and tall buildings, and you're thinking, wow, this is so cool. And then New York offers all the world's best amenities, so you're like, wow, this is where I belong.
Yeah.
And then after 10 years, you think like, oh my God, this is like, wow, this is so much traffic. Like once I started traveling to Florida or to Kentucky or to Texas or California, I'm thinking, wow, I don't have to sit in a traffic for 1.5 hours to go from point A to B.
Yeah.
I can do that in 15 minutes if I'm somewhere else.
Yeah.
So then after spending like almost 10 years, I thought I will take a break and I'll move to Florida or something, nice weather, warm weather. But I ended up in Kentucky.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. New Delhi, London, New York, Bardstown. Now that's
right. Like New Delhi, London, Paris. I spent time 3 months in Paris on a student exchange program. I traveled to Mauritius, which is a beautiful island near Madagascar. Small island, you can do the whole round in a couple of hours. Totally like nature. There's no artificial color or no artificial flavor. People are very nice. And I've been to Singapore, another beautiful place. Indonesia, Malaysia, Italy, France, Germany, Belgium, went to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, so many places, and then
But you landed in Bardstown, Kentucky.
I think bourbon attracted
Bourbon attracted you. Well, that's a good thing.
Right now with the festival going on, so I think bourbon attracted.
So how long do you intend to be? Is Bardstown home now, or is this just another stop on your adventures?
So far, Bardstown is home. So far, I have not planned anything for coming up in future, unless I get something really great offer from somewhere else. But so far, Bardstown is a home now.
Yeah.
It's a hometown.
Now I know you got involved with several things in the Bardstown area. You're politically active. So is that something that comes from within? Maybe your dad being a diplomat,
like my dad was a diplomat, so I have that political blood in the system somewhere. But I never got to a point where I thought, oh, I want to be a politician or anything. My dad was a diplomat, but he never got to the political side of it. Yeah. He was more or less representing people or the country. So I had the opportunity to do campaign for a couple of, and I just wanted to do it to learn what is the difference between Indian politics and American politics. Because when I was in India, I was very active in my college, in my school also, and then a lot of time the local candidates will come and say, hey, can you do a little campaign for us? So I did that in India. So I just wanted to see what was different between those two countries, because both countries are democracy, and I just want to learn what's the difference in the process, how things are different in India, and what do they do different here. So that curiosity brought me into the.
Well, what did you find out?
I mean, to be very honest with you, being both democracy, it's the same concept, but it's just here we need to aware people more about. What I saw here, like there is not much local people involvement in they thinking, okay, what happens in White House or what happened at Senate level. If you have 10 people who are our senator, maybe 9 or 8 may not know.
Yeah. So you think maybe they're a little more informed or a little more up to date in India than?
In India, they are more up to date because it's just like there's a lot of campaign, everybody's involved in local elections.
Yeah.
Here, they're thinking, okay, I'm not going to change anything, so I should not be involved. No, you have to be involved, because if you want to see the change, you have to make the change. If you want to see the change, otherwise nothing will change. So my experience or my advice to the local people, hey, get yourself involved in every small little thing if you want to see changes. Otherwise, I can sit here and complain about everything and not change anything unless I'm willing to do it. So that's
do you see that more as personality involved or issue oriented as far as campaigning in, say, India?
I mean, it's both basically. It's a campaigning also, but they are more aggressive about campaigning, and here they may not be that aggressive, but personality also works. Like they need to bring out more representatives out and introduce themselves to the local public, not only at the time of election, say, hey, vote for me, and I'll do things for you. I'm gonna make things better, but
actually it makes things better.
Right.
So what's their plans from here on out? You're still quite a young man. You've got a lot of world to see.
I mean, I like to travel. I love to travel. I'm going to Mexico this Sunday for my company trip. It's a business trip, but I'm planning to go to India and Indonesia for a week in October or November. But as I said, I would like to put my contribution here, starting from Bardstown local. I was talking to some people. They were mentioning something about the school system, and I said, it's not going to change until you guys decide to change.
Yeah, I've been to school board meetings. I was on the school board for several years. Very few people show up.
Oh, really? Okay, so see that.
So if you show up, you might be the entire audience.
Like I said, that's where it's different, because if there was a school board meeting or something and you invited 100 people, you may get 105, not just 5.
Yeah.
So that's where it's different, because their people, we decided to do changes from 1970s, and then after that, everybody started getting more and more involved and more educated about, not only about the economy, just about the general stuff, like, hey, if we do this, we can make this better, stuff like that. So
well, the Bourbon Festival, the traffic being a little less, I mean, what else about Bardstown do you really find attractive here?
I mean, Bardstown, initially when I came here, I thought, oh, wow, this is small and nothing to do and it's gonna be boring. But as I started vesting in, I really like Bardstown. Bardstown is not only small, but it's a center, if I want to go to E-Town, if I want to go to Lobo,
Yeah.
or if I want to eat something local, there's a lot of good local restaurants here. There's a lot of bars here are pretty good too.
Uh-huh.
The best part is like you don't have to travel 30 minutes or 1 hour or stuck in a traffic if you want to go get something. Like if I have to go to Walmart or Kroger, it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, and I don't have to spend 30 minutes in check-in line,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's convenient. And then the life is quality. It's a quality of life. We can run and chase things and not get where we want to. In the end of it's the satisfaction. So when I came to Boys Town, initially I thought, okay, it's a huge diversion from New York and London and New Delhi where it's totally different.
Yeah.
And then Boys Town where everything shuts at 9 o'clock, right? So, but then I started liking it because I thought, okay, here we have quality of life.
Yeah.
We have a quality here, and if I want to raise my family, this would be a great place because I can spend time with my family rather than traveling 1 or 2 hours in the morning and rushing, and 1 or 2 hours in the evening and rushing back home, and then when I got to get home, I'm too tired to do anything. So I like Boys Town.
All right, well, so this is what Shai's got to say. All the young people don't have to migrate out of Bardstown to find a better life, because you're eventually going to come back anyway. I know that for a fact. So, I appreciate you stopping in here, and certainly welcome here. I know it's been it's where you started out and where to end up just as a point on the map here in Bardstown, Kentucky. That's quite an adventure, and for choosing to come here is even better. We love that.
I love the town. The people are very nice. People are not rude like northern rude. Yeah, everybody nods their head or say hi, and so that's good thing about that's Southern culture. I like that part, and then nobody's ignores you or anything like that. You say hello, they'll say hello, strangers, So and then the people are very friendly in Boys Town, and I think I know a lot of them by now, and then I guess a lot of people know me by now too.
Well, I got to know you real quickly, and I knew right off the bat you was going to be somebody interesting to have on the show.
No,
so
I really appreciate it, and thank you for having me.
Well, I'm tickled to death you being here, and again, we love to hear the stories of what's going on in the rest of the world, and somebody that chooses to come here to tell us why they like it so much, because we take it for granted sometimes. I'll be honest, people who've been here for all these years, we sometimes forget how well we have it.
You guys have it. You guys really have it. And then Bardstown has some great companies to work for, and a lot of distilleries too. We have a lot of history with those distilleries.
We got it all.
Yeah, there is a lot of potential in Bardstown. Right now, the housing market is up in Bardstown. Right now, new restaurants want to come in. There's a lot of other business I've heard they want to come in. So, hey, Boys Town is
the place to be.
Yep.
All
Boys
right.
Town. If you move to Boys Town now, I think you will never regret. In 5 years or 10 years, you will double your capital, and stuff like that. You will enjoy Boys Town.
Sounds
like
great.
I do.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you here. Shai Kumar, all the way from New Delhi, through London, through New York, now a resident of Bardstown, Kentucky, and we're very glad to have him here, and thank you for showing up tonight. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Kenny.
Appreciate you sticking around. We got a lot more to come here on Channel 6 TV. We'll be right back.